Today we're going to start multiplying decimals the traditional way. So we're going to learn how to make sure we get that decimal point where it belongs every time. Let's go ahead and look at our first problem. We have 8/10 times 4. So we're just going to stack it up like a normal multiplication problem. For multiplication of decimals, you do not use your magical decimal line. Remember, in addition and subtraction, we made sure to stack up our decimals in the same spot, but for multiplication, we don't do that. So all we're going to do is say 8/10 times 4, stacking it up like you normally would. And now we're just going to multiply it like we normally would. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. Now is where it gets a little tricky. I'm going to pick up a different color so I can make sure you can see it. What we're going to do is we're going to go to any decimal point we have in the problem, and we're going to swoop it until it's out of the problem. You're going to swoop it out. So it swooped out one time. So all I'm going to do is drop it down and swoop it back in one time. So you want to swoop it out, drop it, and swoop it back in the same number of times. So if I multiply 8/10 times 4, my answer is 3 2/10. Pretty easy. Let's do another one. 1 3/10 times 5. So same thing. We're just going to stack it up. 1 3/10 times 5. Let's multiply it. 3 times 5 is 15. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Now all we got to do is swoop and swoop. So we're going to swoop that decimal out. It only took one time to swoop it out. We'll do some where it's in the hundredths place, so it'll take 2 times. We're going to drop it down, swoop it back in. We swooped out once, we're going to swoop in 1. And 1 3/10 times 5 is 6 5/10. Let's do one more together before I want you to practice. Here we've got 2 7/10 times 6. So I'm going to say 2 7/10 times 6. 7 times 6 is 42. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 4, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now let's go up and swoop our decimal. It swooped out once, drop it down, swoop it in one time because we swooped it out once. So 2 7/10 times 6 is 16 2/10. That was pretty quick, but I want you to do some problems on your own here in the next quiz that's going to come up. And then when we come back together, we're going to talk about multiplying decimals times decimals before we get more practice with those as well. Remember to rewatch the video if you need to, or come ask me any questions.